Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my protege reading vlog. Hi sweetness. She came with the swiftness to get some attention. What, baby? What, angel? So I am 25% of the way through the protege. It's so good. It's so good. I am loving this. So this is about Laszlo and Isabel. We're gonna call her Isabel. This is how it's spelled. Isaboo. I don't I don't know. In the start of the story, we see Isabel coming to the London Symphony where Laszlo is the lead conductor, and they have had a falling out of some sort, and she auditions to be part of his touring company. He leads the symphony and they're going on tour, I guess, for like 5 years or something. 5 years or 5 months or some amount of 5, and she auditions to be his soloist, his celloist. And then we get into their relationship. When she was 7, she was playing the cello on the side of the road, and he heard her, and he, took her home to make sure she was safe, and realized that the home that she was living in was not great. Her mother had died, and her father was addicted to heroin, and so he takes her in with the intention of her being his protege, him mentoring her into becoming this world-class celloist. And we flash to when she is 18 or 17 or 18, and she makes a move on him, and he's very into it, but he kind of stops it with this feeling like he's a lot of shame and guilt because of who he is to her and his age and all that kind of stuff. And then we flash forward again back to present day, and she basically propositions him to say, I want you to be my mentor again, even though I don't need you to teach me how to play and all that. I want you to be a non-sexual dom. She doesn't say it like that, but that's basically how he says it in his head, is she's asking for a dominant. And just the scenes, the thing that I love about these stories, and Rush had it and this has it, and Brianna does this so well, I love scenes where people are going into especially a DDLG relationship, but just a dom-sub relationship, when they're just figuring out their dynamic, and they're being very open and vulnerable and intimate with each other about their wants and what they need from each other, and just watching them work it out and them wanting to be each other's what each other needs is just always so beautiful, and it just melts my heart, and I'm loving it. I can definitely see this being up there with Rush. We have read every book by Brianna except the ones that are in anthology collections. I am very well versed in the backlist of Brianna Hale, and I can definitely see this one being a second favorite. This is just everything that I loved about Rush so far, but more forbidden, I guess. It has more of a forbidden aspect, because Rush, she's just his choreographer, but this it's the taboo-ness of her being younger, the age gap, him having raised her, all of that. I'm never ooh, I need to read that book because something about taboo books works for me. There's nothing about taboo books that I'm oh yeah, I'm gonna love it more because it's taboo, if that makes sense. It doesn't do anything for me. Definitely makes the angst more, if that makes sense. The actual taboo-ness doesn't do anything for me, but the repercussions of the taboo-ness does. I feel like I'm saying taboo-ness way too many times, but I'm 25% in. It's so good. I feel like I already want to cry. It's beautiful, and I'm excited to continue on. I'm excited to see their first time together. At this point, I have a feeling that this is going to be a slow burn, but I'm excited to see them working together, and I love the idea of characters being what each other needs, especially in DDLG aspects. Like, it's just so cute and soft and precious, and it just melts my heart. And yeah, so 25% in. I've talked for an overly long amount of time for not really much happening, but I'm excited to continue reading. So I will update you again at the 50% mark, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I am halfway through. It's so good. We have had them have a spanking scene, and we're about to go into another one, I think, and that's pretty much all that's memorable that's happened so far. We've gotten a couple flashbacks to them being like their past, and now they're on tour together, and I'm still loving it. It's just so cute, and I love their relationship. I think that this is just like what Brianna Hale excels at, and I really enjoy their relationship. So I don't really have anything super meaningful to update you with. So if I have something to say at the 75%, I will. But other than that, I'm just gonna finish it up. I'm at 75%. Last night I finished The Protégé, and this is 5 stars. Like, I don't know if you thought this was going to be anything less than 5 stars, but I absolutely loved this. This was no rush. I don't quite think it was on rush level. When I do my rush reread and my rush reading vlog, we'll see in November, but this was like everything that I love about a Brianna Hale story. I love the exploration of sexuality. I think that watching a couple enter into a DDLG relationship, or really just a dom-sub relationship with very open communication, is such an intimate and beautiful thing to watch. Like, I tabbed the hell out of it. This man says good girl. Hold on, I kept count. Let me look. He says good girl 15 times in the span of 300-ish pages. There is a little tiny bit of degradation. It's lovely to read, and I liked the transition from Ward to like being in a relationship. It might be a little bit more taboo than people are like equipped to read or want to read or used to reading. I think a lot of people have a fear of these sorts of relationships, that they will be gross or they will be like lecherous or predatory, but it didn't feel that way at all. Okay, let me read you some of my favorite lines. So this is like, I think perfectly sums up why I like reading, why this feels so like melty to me, I guess. Being able to do this for Isabeau, that's her name, on so intimate a level is all the reward I need. The intense sexual satisfaction that comes from knowing that my words, my instructions make her feel good is something I'll keep to myself. That like perfectly sums up the dynamic and why I like reading about it in particular, like why it's one of my favorites, because the intimacy between the couple just feels like so strong, and especially the way Brianna writes, she just writes so well. This is a particular favorite of mine, as you can tell. She says, I don't have to hide what I want from Laszlo. I don't have to call him just Laszlo or Mr. Valmeri. I can call him what I've heard girls my age call handsome older men. He's such a daddy. I like the sound of that so much. Such a daddy. Big, strong men with stern faces but sweet smiles and hands that look like they could caress, could smack, could give pleasure while you sit in their lap. Who would call you sweetheart and baby and little one as you called them daddy? Laszlo is big and strong and stern, and his sweetest smiles are only for me. And then I have, oh, I forgot to, I marked this. I hear you, Laszlo. I hear all the things that you try to hide from me because you think it means you're not a good person, because you wanted a 17-year-old girl. I can still see the fear in your eyes, but I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter anymore. You never laid a finger on me. You never did one thing that you should feel remorse for. If you still want me, I'm yours, and I'll let you do whatever you want, Daddy. As if she'd just taken all my beliefs that I had held dear for so long, snapped them one by one in front of my eyes and thrown them to the ground. I felt vulnerable and powerful at the same time, like there wasn't anything I couldn't do because he was there. And then I ran out of purple tabs and I had to do bright pink tabs. So this is a email after she says basically like, you can have me any way you want. They are practicing, they're about to go into a performance, and he sends her an email, and it's a pretty long email, so I won't read the whole thing, but at the end it says, I don't think you're a virgin now, and I don't give a damn. I even prefer it, because now I don't have to hurt you, and if some other man had managed to make you happy, you wouldn't be here, would you, wanting me? Yep. And then I also highlighted the scene where he calls himself daddy for the first time, because part of this is that he has always used sir or maestro as like a as like the name, but with her in particular, I highlighted it before where he explains it, but with her in particular, he likes being daddy. And those are just some of the highlights that I have, some of the things worth noting. Overall, I think that this is beautiful. This is definitely Brianna's second strongest. I really love this. I think this is everything that I want from her writing and a DDLG dynamic relationship love story. I loved this, and it was a 5-star. And I'm assuming if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, then you probably enjoy Brianna at the very least and love this book at the very most. but I think that this is well worth it. It's definitely one of Brianna's best. I would say if you are looking to get into Brianna and you have read DDLG before, this is a great place to start. This highlights the strengths of her writing abilities, the strengths of her writing, this sort of dynamic, and it doesn't have some of the other problems that some of her books have. Not like problematic problems, but like writing problems and all of that. I will say this is a slightly more taboo than Rush, but if you want to get into like a taboo area with Brianna, then you can definitely start here. So 5 out of 5 stars. I really loved this, and I'm excited to talk about this with Tamika. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments if you have read this and loved it as much as I did, or if you didn't like it. Let me know that as well. I would love to chat about it down in the comments. If you don't have anything to say, leave some sort of music note emoji or music related emoji down in the comments. If you're looking for more content from me, don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow my Instagram and my podcast Instagram. You can also follow my podcast on all your favorite streaming platforms. It is a horror podcast. It's a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next one. And don't forget to join us for the live show. And if it's past, I will leave it down in the description for you to go back and watch. Thanks so much.